Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Day of the Dead. Happy Samhain. And for the one or two Christians out there that like to watch my videos and give me a hard time every now and then, happy All Saints Day. um, I hope you guys had a great weekend, had some fun, went out or something, did something fun. It's always great to get out and do something fun especially if you have kids, with the kids, on like Halloween. So today I want to, or tonight rather, I want to look into something here metaphysically, use my ESP, use my remote viewing, and look back in time, like I was talking about a couple of videos back, and look at a geographical location here on Earth. This location was actually sent in by a friend of mine, awesome friends, and they had shown me. That said, hey, what do you think about this? And when I looked at it right away, I knew right away there was more going on to this location than what meets the eye, or even what scientists and geologists will say about it. It's a very interesting place, and it's actually called the Eye of the Sahara, or the Richet Structure in Mauritania. So let's go ahead and look at this right here. Here it is. So we're looking at a map of Western Africa. I can zoom out. Okay, so in Mauritania, if you zoom in closer near this Western Sahara border, what we want to focus on is this thing right here, this little circular structure with concentric circles or rings. And let's get closer here. Here it is. Okay, the Richet Structure, Eye of the Sahara. Now, when you look at this, right away it's like, whoa, right? In the middle of the desert, let's zoom out again, in the middle of the desert where everything is flat. You got some little hills and rocks and mountains and some geological formations here, but this is the only thing out here that's shaped like that. It's like, what is this? So I can show you some photos that people have taken in airplanes. So, Eye of the Sahara. This is out in the middle of nowhere, right? What is this? How did it happen? Like what made this formation occur, and what's going on here? This structure, the mainstream scientific and geological community calls this structure the result of, I guess, tectonic plates moving, and 100 million years ago when the plates split, this and this happened, which then caused a lot of pressure in this very concentrated area, and then formed this structure. It's honestly complete garbage. They actually have acknowledged they don't really know. It's like a theory they have, right? But they can't really prove that. They just have a theory on how the structure formed. But they've also admitted that we don't really know, but this is the most likely cause based on our knowledge and expertise. You can't blame them, right? It's kind of like the same idea of how the pyramids of Giza were built with a bunch of men pulling rocks on ropes, right? It's nonsense, and they don't actually know what happened here and what formed this structure. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look into the structure. And with me, I have a whiteboard. Put my coffee down. I have a whiteboard that I will be, drawing stuff when I see it metaphysically, because I'll be going back in time and seeing exactly what had happened. Take off these magnets. Seeing exactly what happened with the structure and how it occurred and how it ended up like it is today. So we're gonna go ahead and start. Just give me a second here. Right away, this place is powerful. Even today, right now, I'm feeling a lot of energy from this location. Uh, a lot of power, just like raw energy. It even like kind of puts a lot of pressure on my head. Okay. Um, this is actually there's a lot of crystals. This was a hole in the ground. During the time that whatever was like there was something going on here, and I believe it was one of those crystal pits from Atlantis. Um, Also, the surrounding area of the structure was not a desert. It was not like a desert environment. It was actually lush green rainforest, very lush. A lot of trees, plants, vegetation, kind of like the Amazons today. Okay. There's always I keep seeing people. It's literally like a big hole in the ground, and it goes down very far down. And there's always like there's people around it that's just watching it. Oh, this is interesting. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and start drawing here. So, okay, it's kind of what I saw here. Okay, so, oh gosh, I suck at drawing. Uh, I wish I was better. So here's like a palm tree. Okay, my vantage point from what I was seeing with the structure. You know what? This palm tree is probably a little bit big. Let me erase that. I got to get the right depth of field of all the objects that I'm seeing because I don't want to draw something overblown. So I saw a palm tree. Okay. Okay, so palm tree, and I was looking at like this one big one actually, but there was a couple, and so around the palm tree there's all these like shrubs. So this can be considered like green like lush tropical plants, like ferns and whatever else. I don't know the name exactly. And so here's like a hole, okay, big hole, and see that scale is wrong. Okay, that tree should be very small compared to this hole. But I was up close next to the tree when I was looking at this metaphysically, and this hole, which is the Richet Structure, the Eye of the Sahara, um, was far away. I was like looking at it from a distance, so that's why the tree's so big in this drawing. And there's two people here. I keep seeing like people right here, like standing right here. Stick figures. Okay, two people, right, looking at the hole. And what really got me interested, like what really struck me was this hole in the ground had these things poking out. They look like spikes. Like that. Okay, so they were poking up like that. Okay, so if you can imagine the hole, right, and then spikes. I think they were crystals. Yeah, quartz crystals or something. Um, and then there was this object. It was like I kept seeing energy, a lot of energy. It was like channeling like energy. I don't know, flowing energy upwards. These squiggly lines, you can just think of them as energy going moving up, and then it would be very concentrated in this like diamond shaped. Yeah, this you know diamond shaped energy, very very how do you call it? Concentrated energy. It would like build up and form into like a diamond shaped energy, not a ball, just like a oval diamond shaped energy. Um, and this was big. Like, and these guys are just looking at this. These little things down here, they were quartz crystals. Like this down here. I have one. 1 second. 1 second. I have some. Okay, so see, let's check this out. This is a big Lemurian point from Brazil. This is pretty much what lined up that whole wall. All these crystals all around, and they were just pointing up. And it was as if this whole pit going down was um, channeling energy. These things were just sticking up like that. Um, there were interesting people here working on this thing. They look human, but not entirely. Yeah, it's like a hybrid looking person. Um, this was like some sort of source of power, energy or something. Like this honestly is like a nuclear power plant, the equivalent of, or something like that. Like it was generating power for elsewhere. Like they had built this structure um, outside of wherever these guys were living, and I think this is Atlantis. I'm pretty sure it's Atlantis. It has to do with Atlantis. Atlantis. Let's talk about Atlantis really quick. Gosh, my head keeps hurting every time I look at this. Like there's just so much raw energy going on here in the structure. So let's actually go. Go back to Google Maps here, and let's look at Atlantis really quick. So you have the Western Sahara and the West Africa. Atlantis, the continent of Atlantis, actually was like one big chunk of land. Okay, it was a little bit kind of like triangular shaped, but not really. But geometrically speaking, it was closest to a triangle, and the furthest southern point was actually down here near Venezuela. Actually, it kind of cut off like right around here, and then it went like this and like that. So you can just imagine this whole area right here as Atlantis, and it was definitely in the tropical area on Earth. So that was Atlantis, and I've always known that their source of energy, power. They didn't burn coal or natural resources or wood, or have nuclear power plants. They didn't use wind or solar, or batteries. Um, uh, they harvested energy in other ways. I knew one of them was with like crystals. Which it would power their technology, which was somehow in some way in tune with metaphysical energy, and you had to be metaphysically able, spiritually able and aware to even use or operate some of this tech. This one right here, Eye of the Sahara, this was definitely definitely one of their like power crystal pits, because what they did was they would dig down all the way down to the earth, and then they would line them up with crystals, huge big powerful quartz crystals, generators. That's what I guess you could call them, like this but much bigger, and thousands of these all over the place. And then they would have some sort of technological equipment that could literally harvest, and that's what I was seeing, harvest the energy and build it up into like a ball or a diamond shaped thing. Like I literally saw a bunch of energy concentrated right here. Like everything was going up, right? And just building up right here. So during that time, also the Sahara was not a desert. It was actually very lush, very green. And so they would do this. They would use that to power their whole entire continent. Their whole civilization would be powered on this. And everybody in that whole continent was awake and aware, metaphysically, spiritually, so they could all, be in tune with this kind of technology. Atlantis was not a continent that sank 10, 11, or 13,000 years ago. That's, 13,000 years ago may sound like a lot, but it's actually a drop in the bucket compared to the bigger picture. Atlantis was during a totally different age on this planet, and that was millions of years ago, millions and millions and millions. When it sank because these guys were doing exactly this, getting out of hand with their power, power and control, and they kept digging these holes. These would go miles and miles down. And big. I mean, look at that. That's huge. How much? Let's see how much land this actually covers, like kilometers or miles. I'm not sure. I know on a MacBook in Mac OS you could do a tool that draws, or even Google Earth. It seems like Google Maps does not have that tool at the moment. Maybe they do. Let me see. Well, they do, but it's hard to see it. Yeah. But just eyeballing it, right? That's like what, 10, 20, 30 miles? I'm sure you could pull up the actual statistics on that. I mean, that's insane. And this was actually outside of Atlantis again. This was outside of Atlantis. And Atlantis was actually over here. Right? So this thing right here was powering. This was one of the main pits. I feel like it's just like it's just like how we don't build a coal plant or a nuclear plant in the middle of a city, right? Like we put it on the outside of the city so it doesn't pollute the whole damn city, right? So it pollutes the industrial parts of the country or something. Like the same concept here. They didn't want to put that thing in the middle of the city, even though it didn't have pollution. It was just a big thing that its whole purpose was to generate energy and power to power the whole continent. So they figured, well, let's put the nice buildings and stuff like that where people live in the residential areas, in the center, and put that on the outskirts of the continent. So it's the same concept, but the continent is the same because they kept building this stuff and getting out of hand with their grasp for power and just more and more and more and more. Because these pits were very far. They would go very, very far underground. I have a feeling that this pit powered a lot of stuff. Powered their vehicles. They can fly, their ships, their crafts, UFOs, whatever you call them. Powered their buildings. Powered all their technology. This was like a vital resource. And they were just using it and abusing it. More than likely, I'm getting that this thing actually just collapsed in on itself, caved in, because they used it too much, and it just kind of, overload, and couldn't handle the amount of energy these guys are trying to harvest from this pit. During that time, again, this whole area was actually a rainforest. This rainforest right here in Africa was all the way up to here. This was not a desert. So, yeah, Atlantis was actually who spoke about this? Plato. Plato spoke about this. The Greek philosopher Plato. He spoke about and actually gave dimensions. The lost city of Atlantis that sank. he actually mentioned, so the dimensions that he gave actually was it matches this size, and a lot of people seem to think that this is actually the lost city of Atlantis, like this whole area right here. There's even art here. Let me see. I saw some art here. I can pull this up for you guys. A lot of people seem to think that this Eye of the Sahara and the surrounding areas, like this was Atlantis in the past, like that. See, like this image right here, and others. Let me see. That's kind of a bad image. Okay, here I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys something. So, like this is all artists, like an artist's rendition of what they think Atlantis was. That's a really bad image too, right? The structure of Atlantis. Here it reads right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. The structure of Atlantis before the disaster is what the title of this image is. It's a very bad image, low resolution image. But okay, so this is not actually Atlantis, right? Atlantis was a big continent. Atlantis was not just like one city, but this was involved with Atlantis. Atlantis was far away from this, but I think Plato had maybe thought this in the area, the whole area around this area, which is now today the Sahara Desert, was Atlantis, which is not true. It was only outside of Atlantis, this whole area. So, yeah, that's what I get for this place, the Richet Structure. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I was kind of on and off there with my thought process. It's hard, it's hard to really be articulate and logical, because while you're looking at stuff metaphysically, because it's like it's a pull on your brain, like the metaphysics is going this way, logical thought process is being articulate or being logical is going that way, and you're literally like trying to use both, and you're pulling both sides more often than not. The stronger you get metaphysically, the more you see stuff with your metaphysical vision, remote viewing, astral projection, ESP. You lose the book smarts a little bit, but it's a very fair trait. So anyway, yeah, that was Atlantis. This was a crystal pit from Atlantis, and all these little things right here were these little huge, or not little, these huge quartz crystals that was generating energy. The quartz crystals by itself is not gonna, do what they intended this. You need technology to kind of harvest the energy here. Okay, by itself, it's just like stagnant, if you will. You can connect with the stone, you can feel the energy of the crystal, but metaphysically, of course. But if you want it to power, devices, technology, equipment, hardware, ships, etc., and you want to actually use that to power technology, you need technology to be able to harvest it. Just like how we have solar panels that harvest the sun. Sunlight by itself isn't gonna help you turn your lights on, but if you have solar panels, right, that can harvest it and route it to your electric system in the house, and you can turn the lights on with sun. So it's the same concept. And so these guys that was a big one, by the way. That was probably one of their biggest pits. And it reminds me of when a volcano goes extinct, kind of blows up and caves in on itself. That's like kind of what reminds me of what happened here. So yeah, that's the Eye of the Sahara. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys soon.